Heading out to Las Vegas, where basically remade Geno, Ashton Genty, Pete Carroll. I like what the Raiders have done this offseason. Geno's proven he can lead an offense, make plays, even when under pressure. Pete Carroll certainly brings stability and positivity that was missing in previous regimes. Nick, you got us like a small crush on the Raiders.
Well, no, listen, I think the Raiders are going to be a playoff team, but you can't win the division when the same team wins it every year, and you're not them. Patrick Mahomes is 35-5 in divisional games. He is 19-1 in road divisional games. He is not losing the AFC West. And so I'm not even going to say what it would take for the Raiders to win the division, because it's also something that would make me take the season off from watching football. So they can't win the division, but I do think that they can win 10 games. I do think that I think that type of upgrade at quarterback, head coach, and running back can be transformative for an offense. And then when the head coach is a defensive kind of, mastermind, so to speak, I think you're going to get a bump in the defense as well. So I like the Raiders a lot. I obviously don't think they can win the AFC West because the Chiefs win the AFC West.
You mentioned all the things that have to happen. Like Genty has to be great. Right? Like an Ezekiel Elliott type rookie season.
Yep.
Geno has to
He just really has to be Geno.
Do what he does. At least that. Yeah. And Pete Carroll has to completely change everything like great coaches often do.
Seems like he has.
No, I think they're the worst team in the division. And I don't think they're bad. I like some things about because obviously you got the Chiefs. I think the Chargers, you saw Mike Williams retire, but still, I think the Chargers are very good. I actually think, Nick, I think they'll challenge, I said when you weren't here, the Chiefs. I think they'll split in the regular season, so I guess they need to win in Brazil and challenge the Chiefs for the title. And Denver, what's not to like? Now, unless you think Bo Nix is going to go pumpkin mode, what's not to like about the Broncos?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this. I don't want to start focusing on all these other teams right now. I really want to just focus on the Raiders. I could care less about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs record against the AFC West. Raiders fans have had a big front row seat to this. They know that division has been, I don't even want to say clown show. It's just been an absolute mess. A mess of coaches and quarterbacks and GMs. It's just been a mess. There is just absolutely nothing impressive of that record with the Chiefs and Mahomes on them. That's like Tom Brady boasting about beating the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets for years. Wow, congrats. You beat up on terrible coaches and quarterbacks and franchises for years. So it's just to boast that, I find absolutely hilarious and absurd. It's by far one of the weirdest things that I see from Mahomes fans and Chiefs fans. It's just that's not impressive. What are you talking about? And things are different now. It's different. It's changed. You now have four functional teams in that division, okay? That is a real thing that is happening. Now, I think it will be incredibly difficult for the Las Vegas Raiders to win the division. I will not hide that. I will not even try to pretend like I don't think otherwise. I think there's a few things. The biggest key, there's not key, it's keys. And from my viewpoint, in order for them to win is 3 or 4 things. One, we'll start with the easiest things. Pete Carroll has to prove to be a true, absolute, bona fide mastermind defensively, where he can absolutely make this defense immediately a top 5 defense. Just have an immediate impact of whoa, where you're watching these games and you're the Raiders defense is legit. Not no, I mean legit. And I mean also situationally legit. We so rarely talk about that for defenses. Oftentimes you always talk about offenses and it's 3rd and 4, what is so-and-so going to do, from a quarterback or offense standpoint. That was a great play call. But situationally, defensively, in key moments, coming up with key stops, forcing the quarterback on a 3rd and 3 where he's immediately flushed out of the pocket, and what could have normally been a pretty easy conversion, now it's it suddenly turned into a 40, 30, 50% chance, and now it's just whoa, that ended up being a big play, right? Like you need a lot of those for sure. Then you need Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly needs to also prove, guys, you remember me in the NFL. It was a very specific time in the NFL and a very specific time in my life. I didn't have it all figured out. I had a decent amount of success, relatively speaking, quite frankly, especially considering what other coaches have done in the NFL. I didn't have the best attitude. I needed to learn how to actually coach men and not just 18, 19-year-olds. And I had a few slip-ups, but like I'm more mature. And I am a brilliant offensive mind. I am a great offensive mind. You guys keep talking about the Shanahans and the Kevin O'Connells and the McVays and all these other guys. Like, I am up there. Just wait until you see what I got, right? You would have to have the energy where you're watching this offense and you're just like, Chip Kelly's going to be a head coach within the next year or two. Like, there's going to be a bidding. Should the Dallas Cowboys hire Chip Kelly? Like, should the Buffalo Bills hire Sean McDermott and get Chip Kelly? Like, you'll need that level of energy. I think Gino's going to be Gino, and so no problem with that. And then, of course, Ashton Jeanty. Absolutely proving to truly be like this monster, this beast, where people start to say, like, should he have gone like number 1 overall? Like those types of conversations. Just, where by the end of this year, we'll start seeing him in like, I don't know, man, like Saquon Barkley was in like Gillette commercials or something. Like, just immediately be like, he's just in the commercials doing all that stuff, eating Subway hoagies or whatever they randomly give these guys these days. Like, he would just have to just be like a true monster where you just like, oh my gosh, this guy is him. I mean, you do those things, then yeah, you can win the division. Combined with, also big situation, not situational wins, but I guess situational wins, key wins against obviously key opponents, like of course within the division. But yeah, I mean, like, it would just need to be really, from my viewpoint, a lot of not just home runs, but like grand slams, and have to do it so quickly. I believe in Pete Carroll. I believe in Chip Kelly. I believe in Jeanty. I believe in all these things, but it'd have to be like overnight, and it all have to be at the same time as well. But I absolutely believe that they can compete for a wild card spot, and I think if they weren't in a division with the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers all at the same time, not only the way how those rosters are, but the quarterbacks that they have and the head coaches that they have, you're just, what great coaches have such an advantage of is that they can reliably and consistently outcoach other coaches. Like, that's just, that's how it unfolds more often than not. In this division, you're not, Pete Carroll loses some of that advantage. But to be fair, so does Harbaugh, so does Andy, so does Sean Payton. So like you do lose that bit of that advantage there. So under normal circumstances, I would say absolutely. And if all the rosters were exactly the same, but you just didn't have the Andy Reids, the Harbaughs, and whatnot in there, then I would say, okay, like I trust Pete Carroll to outcoach some of these guys in some of these key important games and come up with some pretty strategic game breaking moments or whatnot. But you can't rely on that when you're just watching awesome coaches against awesome coaches, and that is what this division has, quite frankly. It's a lot of Super Bowl trophies and championships between all of them, and a lot of coaches who've had success all over the place, like truly all over the place, different quarterbacks, different franchises, different leagues entirely. So we're talking about just some pretty high level coaching, probably the greatest coaching division like in the history of the NFL, probably, definitely within the last like 20 years, 30 years or so. So that's where the advantages and the disadvantages for the Raiders lie. And you're also going up against great defenses. The Chargers will have a great defense. The Chiefs will have a great defense. And the Broncos will have a great defense. So it's just, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be awesome. I mean, I legit can't wait. There's another, it's just going to be great. We'll leave it at that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Las Vegas Raiders? Having a chance to win the division? Do you think they have any chance? How about, at the very least, like Nick Wright said, that they'll make the playoffs? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to be part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.